Welcome to Monster Men.
Hey.
Arrgh. There it is.
That was as good as some of my args, damn you.
Man, I've been practicing.
Hey, we are psyched tonight. This is something I swear to God, I think we've been trying to get this together for a year. We finally have the not only amazing author, but amazing person, Jonathan Janz, on here. He is one of my Sam Hain psycho stablemates, who is one of the most grounded, normal people you'll ever meet and writes some of the most bizarre, twisted stuff you'll ever read, which is a great juxtaposition between man and book. He's in the last 3 years, we are in a race to see who can destroy his brain cells and kill himself writing books faster. He's put out 8 books in the last 3 years with Sam Hain. This year's been super busy. This year, he put out Castle of Sorrows, which is the sequel to House of Skin. He put out Dust Devils, which I have right here, my signed copy right here. A vampire western. And his new book out now is Exorcist Road, which sounds
awesome.
So freaking good. It's scary.
Lindsay Buckingham does the theme, Exorcist Road. Whoa!
When Chevy Chase cameo, great idea.
It's in the hole there,
Jonathan. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Man, you just took me back to Christy Brinkley.
Yeah.
That was a transformative moment for me.
Hey, and she looks the same now, so...
Before we let you even get a word in edgewise, I want to just say a little something about how excited I am to have you on the show, too, because I think you and I are the textbook for the beauty of social media, because this is the first time we've ever talked to each other, but
yeah.
we're like friends.
Yeah,
We've
absolutely.
become friends from Facebook and Twitter and videos and pictures, so if anybody knocks social media, you say, look at us, too. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been weird. It's like since we've been talking for a little while here before the show started, and it's like I already know you.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's only been social media, there's like this level of familiarity that's already there.
If Jonathan was a girl from Estonia, you guys would be married by now.
For sure, with one kid or one of us expecting. No question.
What? Stop smoking. The kid will be fine. I smoke.
This fetus is weak. All right, with that, welcome to Monster Men, my friend.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for those incredible intros. You know, Hunter, you and I have become great friends. That's been one of the most gratifying parts. I gotta tell you, one of the most exciting parts was getting published. You know, that was a neat thing, and then having people continuing to want to read the work. But aside from the business part of it, the relationships that I've made, and I don't know any writer with whom I've become better friends than you. So I'm honored. And if anybody out there is not reading Hunter yet, I don't know what's wrong with you, but his stuff's amazing. So you need to pick it up right away. Start with the Forest of Shadows and go on and read everything from there. And then Jack, awesome dude. You're awesome. I love you on the show. I love all our communications. It's awesome to meet you. A thrill to meet you.
You know, it's funny. Like we became friends really fast. I mean,
yeah.
And we're so different in many ways. When we were at Scares That Care, we had readings to do together. And when you explained how you don't cuss, and the fact that you say the word cuss in real life, and then you were trying to, say, oh, I'm sorry, there might be some dirty words in here. I think there was an oh damn in there or somewhere. And I'm thinking, because you might curse in your writing. I'm thinking, oh, Jesus, I curse a blue streak in real life. I curse less in my books. So we're so different in some ways, but so similar in other ways. And I love everything that you write, man. I am just
thank you,
huge fanboy.
All right, so I want to start with House of Skin because that's
going all the way back.
That's the first thing I read by you, and I don't know if I ever floated this by you, but there are 2 main women characters in this, and in my head, I want to tell you the actresses I see
did you
playing
cast it?
them.
Yeah.
So give us a quick synopsis, and then I'll tell you the actresses.
Yeah, it's a writer. He's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of a loser at the beginning of the book. And he inherits this mansion called Watermere, and it's a vast estate. And once he's there, he wants dreams of being a writer and have the discipline to do it. So he just kind of messes around for a little while. But the house, of course, has a history because it's a house in a horror novel. And he becomes intrigued by this woman who lives very near the house, Julia, this librarian. I'm dying to hear which actress you cast as Julia. But they develop a relationship, and there's a graveyard nearby, and Paul, the writer, wanders out to the garden. And one of the many things that fascinates me, Hunter and Jack, I know you guys have, I don't know if you've covered it before on Monster Men, but the idea of automatic writing, about receiving a message from the beyond, from the spirit, that plays into the novel. So Paul receives this like message and he writes it, and it turns out to be publishable. And we begin to find out through flashbacks the history of the place. Really the shadow of this woman named Annabelle is cast over the whole book, and she's the main villain. And she follows in the tradition of a lot of great female villains, you know, back to H. Rider Haggard and She, and Richard Matheson in Earthbound, Jack Ketchum and She Wakes. So there are a lot of them in horror fiction. But anyway, Paul doesn't realize that as she's helping him and as she's giving him new life and this new career, he's unwittingly resuscitating her. And that's her entire goal, is to return to wreak havoc and evil once again.
It's an awesome book. What a great start of career. I mean, really.
Okay, so the two women that I used in my head while I was reading this book are both from the show Firefly, and it was Morena Baccarin and Summer Glau.
Okay.
So that would be the companion and the girl. I don't know if you watched Firefly or Serenity.
So here's the problem. It's so funny. I've got a buddy this guy named BJ, who's been just pushing me to watch Firefly. He has the whole. It didn't have that long a run.
It's only like 13 episodes or something.
There we go. He has all that on DVD. He's been telling me how amazing it is. We were supposed to actually watch it tomorrow evening, but then I've got stuff with the wife and the kids, so we're not. But now he's going to make fun of me because you've cast with two veterans one of my novels, so now I have to watch it. I have no more excuses to avoid Firefly.
That's right. This weekend.
Summer Glau was also in the short-lived Terminator series. She played the robot.
Okay.
She's beautiful. She's like a dancer.
Okay.
So,
and she was on Big Bang Theory.
Okay, and she would be
the neighbor.
Okay, the Julia character.
Yeah, she's younger,
strong, and tall and
athletic.
Athletic, exactly.
Morena Baccarin, she's also in Homeland.
Okay.
Which I didn't watch, but
she's
been a bunch of those. She's
gorgeous,
more exotic looking, and just so anyway. Those two, I was like, man, if you could, in my head, the two of them, they're both smoking hot. That was going through my head when I read that book. I really enjoyed that book. And you're right, your character definitely grows throughout the... he gets game.
He does. It's game, or it's given to him, one of the two, but he gets it. Yeah, absolutely. More than he had before, which was none.
I know that book was a big success because people loved it. I was giving that book out for like Christmas and stuff to people.
Thank you.
And then now you came out this year with Castle of Sorrows. So where does that take us? Like, is it a direct sequel, or tell us what part it is?
Yeah. Okay. So House of Skin is the first book I wrote, and it took me forever to get it right. I wrote it and rewrote it, and then The Sorrows I wrote that. The Sorrows is actually published first, and it's connected to House of Skin, of course, because the movie that they're making in The Sorrows is House of Skin. So then House of Skin came just a few months after The Sorrows from Sam Hain Horror, and then Castle of Sorrows followed all that. So Castle of Sorrows is a direct sequel to The Sorrows,
right?
But of course connects to House of Skin because it's the movie they made.
Right.
Yeah,
right. That's all.
Whoa! They're making a movie? I didn't know this.
No, in the book.
Oh.
I'm hoping they make a movie. That'd be great.
If they're making a movie, we're not going to get them on here.
Well, I don't know. We share an agent, so and I know she's always working. Let's hope by the next show we each have a movie.
Yeah. All right, so wait a minute. I read House of Skin. I read Dust Devils. Then I had to read a bunch of his books. It's your turn next. What should I read next from you?
Okay, one of two. I just happen to have him back here. I don't know. It's a surprise. one of the two. I would do either The Sorrows, and I think you'll enjoy that. Brian Keene called that the best horror novel of 2012.
Have that here.
We love that bastard.
Yeah. He's a crazy guy, but a great guy. And then that one or Savage Species.
Ah, yes.
One of those two. Savage Species is probably, I don't know. I mean, every writer loves everything he does. But it's hard. I don't know what you would choose as your favorite, if you even could choose a favorite.
Savage Species is bat crap crazy and fun.
Now, Savage Species,
I love that.
Savage Species was like a 6-part release.
Yeah. So there are 5 installments. That's right. And then it was released as a book 6. It was one big collection, right? So
because I kept posting the pictures on our Facebook page, and I'm like, Jesus, how many of these? The covers are awesome.
Yeah, the cover artist is great, isn't she? Yeah, Angela Waters does a great job.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But yeah, if I were reading another book by me other than the ones you've already read, I'd probably go to one of those next. And I like every author. I'm sure Hunter loves everything he's done, or at least is proud of everything he's done.
Nominally.
But Savage Species has gotten a lot of really good reviews, feedback, sold a lot, and it's a book I'm really proud of. There's a lot of violence in it and stuff, but it's I think it's also I think the characters that's what always makes the biggest difference to me is characterization, and then The Sorrows kind of launched everything, so either one would be great.
So wait, just so I'm straight, The Sorrows is related to House of Skin, but is it before or after?
Before.
Okay, so
it was actually chronologically in my life written before. Sorrows was written after House of Skin in my life, but Sam Hain published The Sorrows first. And then House of Skin came out a few months later after The Sorrows. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to flip a coin.
Sounds good, man.
Now that you're,
I might go with the Brian Keene, though.
Where'd you go? Oh, I didn't hear you. You know what? It kind of froze up there.
I said I'm going to go with Brian Keene, maybe.
That's cool. I mean, I trust his taste. He knows of what he speaks.
Yeah.
Now that you're writing, look, we have the same editor, and I know what he demands.
Yeah.
What's the difference? How long did it take you to write your first book, as compared to how long will it take you to write your next book?
Isn't that an incredible difference, Hunter? I mean, because I don't know how long it took you to write your first. For me, I wrote that thing, House of Skin, 8 times, and it took over a period of many years. I started that. I think it took from beginning to end like 11 years. But I was doing other things.
Yes.
That I just kept coming back to that one, and so now rather than 11 years, it'll take. Well, last year I had 3 novels published, and then this year 2 novels and a novella. So, my goal is to do one about every 4 months, every 4 or 5 months now. Sometimes I don't accomplish that, but yeah.
Yeah, we're on the exact same schedule. It's amazing. It's weird to say. It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
And the more you use it, the easier it gets. I'll just say when I was doing Montauk Monster, I figured I would do an 80,000 word book for them in like 5 months' time. Mm-hmm. And it became 98,000 words in 3 months. And I was like, I don't even know how I did that.
Oh, so it was actually longer but a shorter time span than you thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know how that happened. It's like automatic writing, like you were talking about earlier. Sometimes you don't even feel like you're in charge.
Yeah, you're along for the ride.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It reads like that too because it's an awesome book, an outstanding book.
Now, do you plot your endings, and does it ever end the way you thought it was going to end?
Man, yeah. I mean, the headlight theory, E.L. Doctorow is this author who did Ragtime, and I just read this article once where he talked about the headlight theory. Some authors, they plot it from beginning to end. It's all outlined, and I can't do that. I can't. I don't have that foresight, so I can't see that far ahead. And then other authors, they just fly completely blind, which I've done a couple times. Like Darkest Lullaby, I had no idea where it was going to go, what was going to happen. I just took off. And I find what works best for me now is like that headlight theory where, at night you can see what's ahead of you a little bit. You can see your periphery a little bit, but that's it. And that's usually where I am. I don't usually know how it's going to end.
Right,
I can know the next couple scenes, but that's really about all I know. But just knowing a little bit helps me to not feel like I'm going to go down a wrong turn and waste 50,000 words,
I had a book I finished in June I had 5 different endings. I was coming towards the last 2 chapters. I said,
Oh man.
so I wrote down on 5 index cards. I said, it's going to be one of these 5 ways it's going to end. And then I sat down. I just, banged out the last 2 chapters. And when it was done, the ending was neither of the 5. Something I didn't even dream of. And I'm like, whoa, why did I do that?
And it fit, though. I bet it fit better than any of the other 5 would have fit.
At first, I was like, going, oh, wow, I screwed this. And then I looked at the 5 other endings. I was like, no. It was better than what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Better meaning more dire.
The darker, the better.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it goes.
Well, Hunter's books always have these crazy-ass finales to them that I love when I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, you feel like you're on that final approach, right? Yeah.
It's the log flume. I'm going over the edge. Here we go.
Exactly.
And I forget which book you had, but there was like a lull, and I'm going, it's a little calm for Hunter Shea, and then sure enough, you kicked me in the nuts.
Yeah,
with the ending again.
Nut kicking.
Yeah, no, I think he does that really well. I mean, he unleashes it, but he's tying it together as everything is going crazy. I love that. I mean, that takes an artist to do, and he is one.
It's fun. Now,
it is fun.
Here's the funny thing. You and I were both writing Western horrors at the same time.
Yeah.
Without knowing it.
Yeah.
Which was just totally bizarre.
It was.
And when you told me yours is about vampires, I took a breath. Because I was like, if he's writing the same thing I'm writing, throwing mine away, I'm just going to start all over again.
Same character names, same everything. It was. I mean, yeah,
First of all, I've read both of those. And...
Oh, yeah, you read Hellhole.
Hunter, nobody could come up with what you came up with for Hellhole. That is the most original thing. Like, not that the vampires isn't original, but...
Oh, no, totally.
No bearing.
When I read Hellhole, I'm like, what the hell's in the hole? And once you find out what the hell is in the hole, that's not what you expected to be in the hole.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
It's in the hole. We're right back.
It's in the hole. Cinderella story.
Now I'm not in vampire fiction. It's very hard for me to find good vampire fiction. When you paired it with the Old West, I was like, oh, I'll love this. And I did. I loved those devils. Were badass. Those are some mean cowpokes that you have in that. I mean, and the ending, I thought, oh wow, this is kind of like my ending. Everything's going berserk here in the end, which was phenomenal. I mean, love that book. It restored my faith in vampire novels.
Ah, wow, that's great to hear. Yeah, that's yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you both.
I like one of the things about that book was you could feel the pain that the main character was going through.
Oh my God.
He was taking hits and limping from it, like.
Yeah, he was like Job. Good Lord.
There was some Ash there, some Bruce Campbell going on, man. Yeah. He was taking a whooping.
Yeah.
And he's one. I mean, of course, all our characters get beaten up physically and emotionally, but I think Cody Wilson, the protagonist of Dust Devils, he really took it physically and then emotionally too. His wife. It just humiliates him as much as any man can be cuckolding him in front of a crowd of townspeople they've known at least part of their lives. Yeah, just brutal emotionally and brutal physically.
The emotional ride you put him on was unfair. The physical stuff was almost a mercy. At points I was going, oh, just please kill the guy. How can he go on like this?
Nothing worse can happen. Yeah.
But I mean, that was just. I've been trying to think. It reminded me a little bit of, and Jack, we were just talking about this before. The Bill Paxton.
Oh, Near Dark.
Near Dark. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, what a great movie. Eric Red, fellow Sam Hain author, wrote that screenplay, right?
Yeah. So it had that Near Dark, really gritty feel to it for me. Because Near Dark to me is a Western vampire.
Absolutely.
Movie, and the novel just. You killed it, man. I mean, totally nailed it.
Thanks, buddy.
And I when I read it, I'm like, okay, this is one of the best barroom brawls in Western history.
Yeah.
Certainly some of the bloodiest, right?
Oh, my God.
The only thing missing from both of your Westerns was a baked beans by the fire scene.
We didn't do any Mel Brooks. What's wrong with us, man? We can do that on Monster Men.
Yeah.
Hey. Make amends.
I don't remember. Did you put any Indians in yours? Because I made it a point not to.
No, I think there was like a vague mention at one point, just somebody secondhand mentioning, but yeah, no characters, no battles between. Nah.
Yeah, that was one of my goals. I said I wanted to set a book in the Old West, and I mean the backstory was the guy had encounters in the past, but I didn't want to go down that route because I wanted to make. They're not the villain. The villain is, in your case, it's these vampires, these traveling actor vampire freak shows,
right?
And in my case, it was the town and everything that was in the town.
Yeah,
and that way I couldn't offend anybody like I did in Forest of Shadows.
Who did you offend? Oh,
Yeah, I did.
I mean, I wasn't offended, obviously, and I think that people probably are maybe being too sensitive. But
it cost me a movie deal.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because he's like, well, we don't make movies where Native Americans are the bad guy. And I said, well, let them know that the guy who gave me the idea is a full-blooded Native American.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's offensive. I mean, just a Native American can be anything that any other race of human being can be. To limit, the Native American to a strictly noble and savage species. My Native American character is a human being.
Right.
What concept? Right?
Yeah, I know.
He's not this noble, quiet, austere character. He's flesh and blood, and I think that's as it should be.
It's a weird world we live in.
The best Native Americans were an F Troop. The Hakawi.
I've not seen F Troop.
You're young.
Man, you guys, I feel, I feel I'm so behind.
You're with the Monster Band now. The references come hard and fast, baby.
Well, I got the Near Dark thing, man, I'm totally with you.
You knew the screenwriter's name. That's good.
Yeah, and the Near Dark thing warmed me so much. There's a scene in Near Dark too that I think is one of the best scenes in any horror movie, and it's exactly what we're talking about. How ferocious Bill Paxton is in that bar scene or the cafe scene. When he starts just wreaking havoc
with the spurs.
The spurs, and then he's like, are you going to do something about it? Because here's what I'm going to do, and he just basically challenges. The guts, the fortitude of everybody in there, and most of the people wilt just because he's so ferocious. I love that kind of audacious villain, and
Hey, and that was when I first saw that movie, I'm going, oh, this is the schmuck from Weird Science.
Shit.
So he turned into a poop.
I loved him in Aliens. What does he say? Like, game over, man.
Oh my God.
Hudson, right? Hudson is the character. I love him in Aliens. He's great.
That's the first Blu-ray I watched.
What's that movie? Is it A Simple Plan? Or?
A Simple Plan I've not seen. That's a Scott Smith novel, the guy that wrote The Ruins. A Simple Plan has Bill Paxton in it. I've not seen it. Billy Bob Thornton, I think, and Bill Paxton. I need to see it, but I haven't seen it.
And there's another one where Billy Bob Thornton and him did two together.
I don't know which one that one is.
I'll look it up while we're talking.
Well, I was just talking to somebody the other day about Frailty. Bill Paxton.
Oh, God, that's a great
Frailty is phenomenal.
Isn't that chilling?
Are you a Damon?
Oh my goodness, what a hidden gem! I mean, not hidden to us, but I think the layperson, because it's about 10 years old, hasn't seen it. That's a scary movie.
Because you know what? The whole time you're going, this could happen. This is happening right now.
Exactly. It's
probably right behind Chris Rufty's house.
Love
you, Chris.
One False Move is the name of the movie.
One False Move. All right.
Great movie. You should check it out. Really good.
All right.
All right. Let's get into the new book, Exorcist Road, this is like perfect for Halloween season. Perfect. The cover is super scary.
Yeah.
Anytime this might be the next one I read.
Yeah. Do you do digital or paperback or both, man?
Whatever.
Okay, you do, but I don't want because it's only on digital right now. Hopefully, it'll be paperback eventually. But they need to put like The Waiting and Exorcist Road into a paperback, so people can hold the. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good idea that they should do. Just bundle novellas together.
There we go.
Let me get on the phone with Dawn now.
Yeah, get him on there. I think that's a great idea. So Exorcist Road.
Yeah, what's the story behind that little sucker there?
Well, the three inspirations, and I think anybody working in the tradition of demonic possession or exorcism is lying if they say that The Exorcist has no impact or influence, or Legion, which I consider just about as good as The Exorcist. I didn't read The Exorcist, guys. I saw the movie when I was little, and I've seen it many times since. But I did not read William Peter Blatty's novel until like last year. So it was really good. I never
read the book. I've only seen the movie.
Oh.
It scared me. I mean, it actually scared me, and that takes some doing these days after reading so many. And then Legion, I read after that, and Legion is really scary too. It's really terrifying. The sequel, Exorcist 3, is based on Legion. And Exorcist 3 is a great horror movie, I think. One of the best boom moments ever. But then, and then the other book is Son of the Endless Night, which is lesser known, but that's John Ferris, and John Ferris is one of my favorite authors of all time. So those 3 books really influenced Exorcist Road, and so I knew I wanted to do something, involving demonic possession and exorcism, but I wanted, just like any writer, I wanted to make it my own. I wanted to do something. I didn't want to do, some sort of pastiche or straight up homage. So I got this idea to have a serial killer mystery in the novel as well. Mm-hmm. And I really like, by the way, I like novels where there's a dual front with villains, right? The best zombie stories do that, right? The villains aren't always the zombies. The villains are, the military figures who pull everybody in to protect them, but actually they're much more ferocious. Right. So I wanted to have that kind of, I love how that works. In not just zombie stories, but in some of the best novels. So, there's a serial killer on the loose in Chicago named the Sweet 16 Killer, and kills only 16-year-old girls. And there's a possessed boy, and he's in this affluent home in Chicago, and he happens to be the nephew of a Chicago cop. So when the kid starts to seem possessed and crazy, the brother of the cop, the child's father, calls up his brother, the child's godfather and uncle, and then he and his partner come, and they have to subdue the kid and chain him to the bed, handcuff him to the bed, essentially. But one of the other cop, Jack Bittner, this big guy, he has a 16-year-old daughter, and he hears this possessed boy talking about the crimes, talking about some explicit stuff that only the killer would know. And Jack, the partner, is convinced that the little boy is a Sweet 16 killer. He's not little, he's 14. But Bittner's convinced that they've got him. So Danny, the uncle, the godfather, one of the heroes, he goes off to get 2 priests to come and perform an exorcism. Jack plans to kill the kid. So it's like a locked room mystery, a serial killer, demonic possession. So I think it has elements of The Exorcist, but I think it's its own beast, too. I think it's its own thing.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's a novella.
What's that?
It's a novella, so you packed all this into a tight space.
I think so, yeah. I think it moves. I think it's pretty quick. It's about 110 pages, something like that. It's about 37,000 words, so a longer novella, like a plus-size novella, but still a novella. So I think it's, I mean, I enjoy it, but I'll be interested to hear what you guys think of it.
It's on my. I think I'm going to nail that one because I take forever to read, so the shorter the better.
Hey, sounds good, man. I'm all for it.
We write for you, Jack. We write these short ones for you.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you're our ideal reader in capital letters. You're like our Stephen King muse.
That's why he doesn't have to pay for any of my books.
I get to pre-read some of his books.
Yeah,
and that's the fastest because it gives me a deadline.
Yeah, and I'm usually like,
I need this by next week.
I'm interested to hear what kind of stuff you tell him. Is Jack pretty ruthless about when he pre-reads for you, or does he? I'm sure he doesn't sugarcoat it much, right? Or
what Jack does, he is my content guy. So he reads the book. My sister does it she does like line editing and all that stuff. Jack does content, and he'll be like, you know what? This scene was really good, but it would be better if you put it over here, and this character should maybe do this, and you should. So he gives me great input into the structure of the story.
How much you charge for that, Jack? That's
a free book.
Free book, and he drinks for free every time he comes over.
You might be checking your mailbox or your email soon because
I would be happy to because I've been writing articles. I'm more of a blogger, and I've been writing for a magazine. I've got a novella in my head that I told him about. So by doing this, it's teaching me. So when I'm ready to jump in the ring with you guys, it's been fun. But I'll say one thing. In Sinister Entity,
Yeah.
I take pride in. There's one pretty sick thing that happens in there that I gave him the idea for. That I'm like, yeah. My mother would be real proud of me for that one.
Yeah, you definitely helped amp that book up, man. You were.
Hey, Hunter, that's what you got to do when people get offended by anything in your books, man. That's my pre-reader. You know, exactly. I wasn't going to have that in there. It's this twisted guy named Jack. He just keeps putting these horrible. You're right. It is offensive.
Well, I'll just tell my editor. I don't know. He put that in there.
Blame it on Don. I like.
They'll never find him.
All right, guys. Here's what I want to do. I want to. We've got about a half hour here. Let's call this one an episode, and then let's come back and do another one, and let's talk vampires. Let's jump on this, but then let's just talk vampires in general.
Yeah.
And we'll have sort of a part 2 to this. So.
Grr, arg.